I love words that say a lot of different things to different people. Retire is one of those words. I used to indulge my fantasies in period piece murder mysteries and dramatic films. You always knew to pay particular attention when someone would pronounce, "Shall we retire to the drawing room?" or "the smoking room?" or "I must retire for the night." It just sounded so sophisticated, so British country house. All the things I imagined about living the most exotic of lives in the most exotic of times. But in a war, when you retire, you're withdrawing from action. And isn't that retreating? And when they retire for the evening, they're just heading for bed. It can also refer to the inanimate, such as retiring a bond or a debt, and best of all, when you retire the batter, on the opposite side, of course, in baseball, when they have swung their 3 strikes. Today, it's the definition attached to the finale of one's occupation or position with a company, particularly at the end of one's working days. And great preparations are made far in advance in planning for that auspicious day. Registered retirement saving plans are pitched when you start your first job. And at the end of your income days, it morphs into the registered retirement income funds as one begins taking out rather than putting in. There are courses to prepare for retirement, how to plan, what it means, what to avoid, and what hobbies to take up. Good Times publishes a retirement planning guide to make sure that you get where you want to be. I was watching the promo for a show where one of the craftsmen stated, "No one wants to work forever." And my thoughts, says who? My father loved the idea that there was no expectation for him to retire at any particular age. As a broker, his paycheck depended entirely on his sales. My mother continued working as a curling pro and support staff at the golf club pro shop until she was 85. I have no desire to stop working. It provides joy in my life when I see your comments or have a parishioner call me with confidence that while I may not have all the answers, at least we can share the time and talk. Coming from a long line of commercial fishermen and farmers, the concept of retiring was not even a possibility for them. Certainly the younger generation would take on the heavier aspects of the job, but the experience, involvement, and commitment to the lands and the animals, to the business and the family, were combined in the lifelong call they took on at birth. Then there are the older folk in their restaurants or corner stores or businesses that employ and provide for many. What are their exit plans? Retiring means many things to many people. It may mean slowing down somewhat, going from full-time to part-time, or not working over the winter when they head south, or in the summer when they hit cottage country and the golf courses. Others retire and discover that they miss being with other people, being needed, miss the routine of getting up, and others happy to see them at work. Some take up being a crossing guard or a school bus driver, a greeter at Walmart, or at the Sunday morning services, or launch their dream business. Then others find volunteer work is what fits their need for companionship and being needed and having a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Because that is the biggest concern that many retirees have. They no longer feel needed, no longer feel that anyone notices their absence or cares. And part of that can be accounted for in that we're living much longer than we used to do. When 65 was set as the time to retire, the average person was dead within 5 years. Now we're looking at years and years after a retirement at 65. Or endless years when you go for freedom 55 and leave work really early. So you make plans to spend your later years in climbing every Munro in Scotland, or traveling all those countries that you never had time for, or the cruise around the world, or maybe just taking over the daycare of the grandchildren. Eventually, and after often not that long, you run out of Munros. Strange hotel rooms and resorts lose their appeal. Seasickness eliminates any more cruises, and grandchildren grow out of even after-school care. And the jobs you promised yourself you would do around the house are finished. And your partner is threatening Harry Carey if you bring one more can of paint into the house. When employment is no longer an attractive option, and you just don't want to spend your days on the old treadmill, it's time to look for something new and satisfying. It's time to do some navel gazing and remember or discover those things that fascinated, but you never had time to do. Time to look at the gifts God gave you that you never had the opportunity to engage. The glee club at high school died away into singing in the shower. Maybe it's time to start up a barber shop quartet or join the church choir. Or was it the drama club that you were too shy to try out for? But the local Red Barn Theatre would love your talents, on stage or behind it. And you can learn a new way to make music. Piano, guitar, drums. How about tap dancing, ballroom, salsa, or ballet? Lessons abound. We make so many choices when we're young. Careers, locale, education, marriage, children, or not, that preclude, at the time, other options. There's no time like the end of one's career to explore what might have been and to indulge dreams once abandoned. Did you choose to work with your hands and now you can explore a science degree? Or was it the other way around? You've spent your working life in a suit and tie and behind a desk, and now you want to create the model train wonderland that you've yearned for since childhood, and never could convince your own children that it was their dream to turn the basement into Union Station. There is little quite as satisfying as volunteering when you can rely on a pension and not have to worry about the paycheck. Just about every talent or skill can find a home among agencies, churches, family, or neighbors. It can be in a field you have labored in for years and miss, or it can be a whole new arena. You had your own restaurant, and now you miss the aromas wafting from the kitchen and the customers' smiles of satisfaction. What about the local food bank, or cooking for a shelter, or greeting the children at an after-school program? Driving people to and from cancer treatments makes you so vital in their lives. Or supporting victims of violence when they go to court to testify. Or passing on a skill, wood carving, or painting, or crocheting. What about coaching a team? Or supporting Girl Guides on camping trips? Or I'm sure you can come up with far better ideas than I can. For some, retirement is everything they ever dreamed of. Freedom from a job they no longer enjoyed, plans realized, and challenges that truly satisfy. Most of us will have so many years after 65, and we owe it to the one who gave us those gifts and talents to use them for us, for others, for all our days. So may it be. Amen. Dust off your dreams of old. Embrace the opportunities that surround you. Now is no time for dropping out, but for dropping in to old dreams, new goals, new adventures.